What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us for another Overwatch Odyssey League matchup. Tonight we have got the world's worst coming up against Kaiju Core MX. Definitely excited for the matchup. We are currently waiting on world's worst's last player to join the lobby, so please bear with us as we are waiting for them to join. We will be back momentarily as soon as we are ready to start the matches. Thank you for your patience. Alrighty, what's up again, everyone? We are still waiting on the world's worst last player to join the lobby, but in the meantime, we're just going to talk some things through here to give you a little bit of insight as to what to expect into tonight's match. Like I said, we are going to be featuring World's Worst and Kaiju Core MX, and commentating with me tonight is going to be the one and the only Spida. Spida, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jordan. Thank you for asking. How you doing, bud?
You know, I am living life. Done a lot of traveling here for work the past couple days, but hey, can't complain too much. But in this downtime that we've got going in or before tonight's matchup, what are some things that you think the world's worst might be able to do to come away with a victory against Kaiju Core?
Well, if you want to compare it, I think you could to last night's matchup between Midnight Muses and sorry, my brain's blinking.
Loggers,
Midnight
yeah.
Muses and Loggers. There it is. Sorry, of a team that ran a very good dive against a team that ran a very good brawl. Muses were able to just spread them out and make them play uncomfortable positions and look everywhere. So for World's Worst here being the team that is better at a brawl comp, and Kaiju Core being better at, or excelling, I'd say, at dive, this puts them in a really bad spot, just like the Loggers were in last night, that being World's Worst. So they just have to play together, make sure that if they are going to run this brawl, that they play right on top of each other and they look at the same person, because that was what the loggers were talking about last night, that those dive comps were making them look everywhere and that the comms were all mixed up. So World's Worst, they have to keep their comms clear and they have to make sure that they know who they should be looking at.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I think that Kaiju Corps is a very, very good team. And like you were saying, comparing Midnight Muses and Loggers matchup to this one, if Kaiju Corps runs a dive comp, which I believe we saw in the first week, that may be something that we'll have to consider in terms of World's Worst, being able to focus targets, really emphasize some priority to prevent some poke from the dive as well. You know, if you got a Tracer vandalizing your backline, you're going to have to kind of focus on that for just a second. But meanwhile, if you have a Tracer in the backline, you've got 4 of Kaiju Corps hitting you from the front. So you just got to, really look out for that as well.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, we've talked a little bit about what World's Worst needs to do. I have heard the expression playing down to your competition. Do you think that's applicable in this situation?
Gonna be honest, I don't know what that means. So
So it's like, think about it like, you think you come into a match and you think to yourselves, oh, we might be a better team, and then you let yourselves kind of slump down into a slumber a little bit and kind of get lax with your gameplay. Do you think that's going to be something that Kaiju Corps might do?
No, definitely not. Kaiju Corps, they keep themselves upright. They know what they're here to do. Though this isn't the main tournament or league that they are playing in, with that being calling all heroes for them, they still do know that this is like a professional setting, and that they need to respect the other players, and that every other player in this league is capable of winning a game against them.
Definitely.
As they are to win against the other teams.
Definitely.
So, and that is important. And we do see World's Worst on defense and Kaiju Corps on attack. Felix running out on Sigma, Saturn on Sojourn, Sandbox God on Widowmaker, Me High on Zenyatta, swapping over to Life Weaver, and then Hollow on Baptiste. And then looking over at World's Worst, we have Bitcoin on Reinhardt again, Rarity and Gucci on Kiriko and Lucio, and then Buddy and Severs on Hanzo and Echo. Now Severs and Gucci both being 2 new players for World's Worst, or at least 2 players that we haven't seen as of yet. So I'm kind of excited to see what they can do tonight.
For sure.
World's Worst going for a really aggressive play here though, trying to stay up on these stairs, keep them back in their spawn. They do give up that space though, they knowing that they do have that Widowmaker that can punish them for not being behind that Reinhardt shield. So Bitcoin will have to stay back with the whole team. Felix able to just swallow up all the space right here though, using a Sigma shield very well, pushing back Bitcoin. Saturn getting the pick on Bitcoin with the help of the Zenyatta orb. Sandbox God kind of just putting shots through from that high ground, working as like a secondary spacer with that Sigma. There goes Saturn getting a second in the fight, getting Severs. Saturn getting a third on Buddy. It's 3 here. Me getting Rarity, leaving only Gucci to make it out of the fight. Now they wait for the team to regroup. Severs already swapping over to Bastion.
It's an interesting pick. Sigma typically considered a counter for Malga even, so having that Bastion there might be good, but also could prove to be ineffective at points.
Definitely putting that Bastion in a good spot to spray down it. But there goes Bitcoin trying to hold point, but it doesn't quite work as the whole team is fighting him there. There goes Hollow getting Bitcoin and Saturn getting Buddy. They do still have about 5 minutes on the clock to get these next 2 caps, or well, just to get this next cap. Forcing the rest of the team back. There goes Gucci going down to Saturn, leaving only Severs and Rarity alive. There goes Severs also going down to Saturn with the help of Felix. There goes Saturn getting another one, getting Rarity, picking them off those stragglers, really staggering them. Me getting Bitcoin making it back a little too late to the fight and not backing up. Severs getting Saturn as soon as they pop their ultimate. Felix getting Gucci there though. Felix keeping the team back towards their spawn. Once again holding that space very well on Sigma. Buddy maybe getting a little too aggressive here. I'm not too sure There goes the lock running on Buddy. There goes Buddy going down really early in this fight. They needed to keep him alive. They needed to keep the numbers advantage that they had as Saturn has to make their way back. There's the beat to keep Bitcoin up so Bitcoin can go and keep going in, but he gets rocked immediately, going down to Wime High in the end. The Dragon coming through, trying to force them off point, but it comes through a little late. The point is capped. Severs trying to burn down the team, but there goes Sandbox God and Wime getting Buddy and Rarity there. Sandbox getting a second in the fight. Saturn now returning, getting Severs. You know, just Saturn getting these crucial early or even late picks in the fight. I think definitely Rarity and Severs, but more so Rarity stayed alive way too long the fight before that. And it gave Bitcoin a false sense of being able to make it back in time, you know, to help out the team, and it didn't quite work out. But there goes Bitcoin. Buddy now on Genji, taking out Sandbox God there. Bitcoin also now on Winston. They are gonna go for a form of dive to punish that Widow and Sojourn, the Zenyatta and Baptiste. You know, not letting them sit comfortably in the back line. Buddy dashing through, the Bastion ult following behind that. There's the trance coming up from Wime. They are punishing Bitcoin for going in. They force him out. There's the gravitational flux from Felix. Severs getting caught in the air, going down to Sandbox with the help of the ultimate. Buddy dashing through, getting Saturn. Felix getting Bitcoin. Sandbox God getting Gucci. This will go in the favor. This will go in Kaiju Corp's favor here. There goes Rarity. There goes Buddy. This does put them at the last stretch of the push. They are just about to cap. Severs on that left side now playing Soldier so they can make it to point really fast. Bitcoin being the one to jump through first, putting the bubble on point, forcing them back. The window comes out, the Kitsune coming out. But Bitcoin goes down early in the fight. There's the lamp. Sandbox God getting one. Saturn getting another. Gucci getting his on Hollow, but there goes Felix getting Rarity. The blade is popped. He's fighting Felix on point. Is able to connect and get Felix as they are the last and only one dancing on point, but Bitcoin makes it back, shutting off Wime from the rest of the team. Saturn trying to help, breaking the bubble, but not after Wime High goes down. Saturn knowing that they need to get out here. We do see Sandbox God sitting right next to right next to World's Worst Spawn though, trying to get a sneaky quick pick on them as they let their guard down and look at main for this next fight. They have no idea that they're there. Sandbox God waiting to get that shot off, not quite finding an opportunity. The lamp did already come out, so Bitcoin knows to jump in, but he does get shut down by the Sojourn ult. The rock coming out, the beat, the trance, ults being traded, the trance allowing the whole team to keep walking through. The gravitational flux, there goes Gucci, there goes Rarity, both supports down. That will slam down Severs. Buddy dying to Wime, Saturn getting Bitcoin. That is a team kill, and I think that will be finishing off the map, getting Kaiju Corp 3 caps on this map with 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining.
Definitely an impressive push there right at the end coming from Kaiju Corp. But also you can't take away credit. Right toward the end, granted, Spawn being right there helps a little bit, I gotta say. But World's Worst did put up a little bit of a hold there against Kaiju Corp.
Oh, definitely.
So we'll have to see if they can keep up that aggressiveness and that mentality as they're going to be the ones pushing the cart now.
I mean, seeing what Bitcoin and Buddy were able to do on Winston and Genji, you know, on defense, hopefully seeing that on attack will go, you know, 10 times better for them, because, you know, that being the better side for a dive. But this also does put Kaiju Corp in the exact same spot as they were on attack, being able to play the same comp nearly. There's Sandbox God now on Ashe instead of Widowmaker.
I think being able to use, oh, now my mind is blanking. Coach Gun, there it is. Using Coach Gun, getting rushed by Bitcoin or Buddy, being able to get away from that situation pretty quick could prove to be pretty useful for Sandbox God.
Definitely allowing or giving Sandbox God time to get peel from the rest of the team. Maybe throw a Discord orb at that person. The Baptiste lamp coming out. You know, Felix's big rock flying at them, you know, getting someone. Just the capability and just those 2 seconds that the coach gun buys you. So they are going to play back on this bridge. They will give them the corner, going for a different approach as World's Worst did on defense. Goes Saturn going down to Buddy early in the fight, but Felix and Sandbox God able to get Bitcoin and Buddy out there. There goes Gucci being the third to go down in the fight. Second pick for Sandbox God. Rarity and Severus, the last two left alive here as Bitcoin does make it back. Severus trying to make it out, is able to make it out. Bitcoin waiting for Buddy and Gucci so they can make that push. Get that jump going here. Going straight up, landing on that site, and they are going to continue to give them that space, knowing that they will win the ranged fight. They don't like, with the Sigma Shield, they will win that fight against Buddy and Severus compared to the bubble from Bitcoin. There goes Bitcoin going down to Saturn. That could be this push for them. There goes Felix getting Severus over in the room, forcing the rest of the team back. Rarity barely making it out as Gucci is helping Buddy speed out off of site.
The breeze brings relief. Good excuse for this hold up.
Bitcoin now on Sigma though, going for the mirror. The window coming out, trying to push them back. Gucci popping beat. They are going to run through. They aren't able to secure much space with that beat drop though. I just think Kaiju Core is holding us really well, but the Kitsune comes out, the Bob to counter the Kitsune, trying to scare them away. They are going to boop the Bob all the way back, but not only after Gucci goes down to Bob, Bitcoin getting rid of Bob, but Sandbox and Wime able to get Rarity and Buddy there. Severus leaving Bitcoin to go down last. There goes Bitcoin going down to Saturn. Not quite a team kill, but that is 5 on the board for them.
I think Weeme High is proving to be very viable for these team fights, getting that Discord on the other team.
Yeah.
So definitely doing a great job from them.
1000%, and just especially, no matter what tank Bitcoin has been playing, they've been able to keep it on Bitcoin no matter where Bitcoin was going, and ultimately shred them out of the fight almost. But the Bob coming through from Buddy might get some space here. The Discord immediately landing on it. There goes the Bob. The gravitational flux coming out, able to grab Gucci and Buddy. Will they die? There goes Gucci. Rarity able to get Sandbox God, but not before Felix gets Buddy too. Wime High getting Bitcoin, leaving only Severus on point. There goes Rarity going down to Saturn. There goes Severus going down to Felix.
They're definitely playing a really strong defense.
Yeah, just I could sense from how well they played poke on attack that it could very well go this way for them on defense, with that being a stronger side for a poke comp. We do now see Buddy on Reaper, hoping to shred through Felix right here. The gravitational flux getting rocked out. Felix saving the team from Bitcoin's ultimate, the trance and the window both coming out. There goes Severus, there goes Rarity, there goes Buddy, 2 for Saturn, 3 for Saturn, there goes Gucci, leaving only Bitcoin. Bitcoin does go down to Saturn though, being the 4th for that ultimate. Great play from Saturn right there at the end of the game to secure that hold on that cap for Kaiju Core. I just think very well played by Kaiju Core as a poke comp.
Yeah.
So World's Worst, they do need to figure it out on how to take care of that poke. They need to play something. They need to play as a team with that dive if they do want to run it. They all have to be the ones to go in there. They can't just let Bitcoin jump in by themselves. They can't just let Buddy dash in by themselves. They all have to go in together. So just a matter of communications is what they need, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I would say we saw that right at the beginning when World's Worst was playing on offense there. Bitcoin and Buddy had that dive. They were able to get Saturn down pretty quickly in that fight. But unfortunately, then Bitcoin went down, and then shortly after, Buddy did also. So when they do that dive, I mean, definitely they do some good things with it. They just need some more follow-up going with the rest of the team. So we'll have to see how that works out.
With Kaiju Core running something like a poke comp that leaves somebody to like on World's Worst to be able to play a character like Ana, and keep them safe. So long as the Ana just peeks around cover, they're making it so much easier for players like Bitcoin and Buddy to go through the site. And we are now looking at our second map on Ilios. For the control game mode.
Yeah, what are some things that you would like to see World's Worst do to adjust to what Kaiju was playing in that last map?
Just as I was saying, I mean, if Kaiju will keep running that poke comp, then they all just need to either all play dive and dive together, or they all need to match that poke and play back.
Yeah, I could agree. Definitely picking with the team comp and sticking with it is going to be huge. Playing half and half can work, as we've seen them do it before, but definitely doesn't always work.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that was an example. They were running, 3 dive characters and then some like interchangeable dive, pokish, brawlish characters with the rest of the team. But we do see Bitcoin on Hog, Rarity on Kiriko, which is definitely important if you do have Hog. Buddy on Genji again, Severs on Junkrat, Gucci on Lucio. Now we do see that dive coming out from Kaiju Core with Felix playing Diva Saturn on Echo, Sandbox God on Tracer, Wei on Kiriko, and Hollow can't aim as Lucio. But both teams will fight in that right room. But they do force Bitcoin's heal out and force Bitcoin to peel the grab Sandbox God out of flank. Sandbox God able to recall out though. Saturn poking from that high ground with the rest of the team fighting on main. Bitcoin God looking for a hook. Sandbox God getting Severus. Sandbox God getting Rarity. Immediately putting the team up. There goes Hollow getting hooked and right clicked by Bitcoin, but Saturn getting Gucci. Leaving it only a 2v3 on site. Sandbox God did fall into the well, but there goes Buddy, there goes Bitcoin. And a very well played fight from Kaiju Core.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, this stream was definitely on Sandbox when Sandbox went to the well. But we're going to pretend like that didn't happen.
It's only about the 2 kills that followed before it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just very well timed, very good comms between the team there. They know to wait for Sandbox God to at least try and get those picks before they go in as a team.
Yep. You saw Hollow got an elim there on Severus before the fight even started, getting an environmental elim.
Yeah, but Saturn getting 2 here, allowing their team to just keep walking in. Severus trying to wrap around through that room in a really awkward spot, but there goes Bitcoin, there goes Rarity, leaving only Severus alive. There goes Sandbox God getting Severus, but Saturn did go a little too far into their spawn. There goes Saturn down to Buddy. Bitcoin is now on Reinhardt though. so that can be interesting. But Sandbox God getting the pulse bomb kill on Buddy. Then they are just going to keep grinding time out of this hold. The Kitsune coming out from Wime, allowing the team to keep pushing through. Sandbox God farming the ultimate. There goes Bitcoin going down. They're going to keep pushing towards the spawn, keeping the aggression, applying that pressure. There goes Gucci. Severus and Rarity able to back up, but Sandbox God wants to keep going and get that last on Rarity. Isn't able to quite do it. The whole team fighting on that right side high ground, trying to pick off Severus before he can make it back to spawn, but it doesn't quite work out. Severus is playing way too aggressive. The Riptire coming out. Felix immediately breaking it. Hollow trying to get the kill on Severus, but it didn't quite work. And World's Worst is being held in main right here. One unlucky boop from Hollow, and that could be the round. Never mind. Gucci making it to point to beat. Both beats coming out. The copy on the Reinhardt. Saturn swinging through, trying to build up that ultimate, but there goes the copy. Pinning through. Does have that shadow. There's the shadow on Bitcoin. Swinging. There it goes. It's a great team effort from the whole team. Sandbox God, Hollow can't aim. Felix all able to work together to pick off players there, along with that pressure from Saturn on Reinhardt with the copy, giving two tanks, the pressure of two tanks on your team. Really well played by Kaiju Core there, catching that beat as soon as it landed, and they were able to pop their own beat, and then the copy coming out, and the rest of the team was just there.
I would definitely say really good things from Kaiju. Definitely looking like the World's Worst is still struggling quite a bit, figuring out what exactly they want to play to counter Kaiju's, maybe even just Kaiju's overall skill. Definitely some really good things we're seeing from each and every one of Kaiju's players.
Definitely, but we do see Buddy now rolling out on Reaper, and we do see Bitcoin now rolling out on Reinhardt. Gucci now on Mercy, trying to help out Severus here, and the exact same team comp coming out from Kaiju Core. I'm excited to see, you know, just the pairing of, you know, Felix, Saturn, and Sandbox as those DPS and tank players, and seeing how well they can work together to pinch World's Worst here, you know? Because that's what they were doing very well on that first control point. They were pinching them, so I'm just excited to see how it goes for a second time. But they do give up point to World's Worst. Felix chasing down Severus, but Bitcoin getting Hollow. Felix peeling on a point, but it is a little late. Felix getting Gucci, leaving only 3 on point now. Saturn getting Rarity, Sandbox getting Buddy. The whole team just folded immediately. There it goes, Bitcoin trying to pin Felix off the map, but Felix does have those thrusters to get out of the hole. The vision is there, but and so is the execution, but maybe just a little unlucky for Bitcoin. We do see the same play coming out from Kaiju Core. They're trying to play back on that high ground, and then as they start capping, they come through. There goes Gucci going down, Severus going down, leaving once again only 3 on point. Hollow getting Rarity. Buddy about to go down next with no faith. There goes Bitcoin getting Hollow, but there goes Buddy and Bitcoin. Once again, not quite a team wipe, but that is 5 on the map for Kaiju Core. And they're going to go straight back to that high ground. Maybe, I don't know if this is a play that they you know, work out a lot for this map, where they just play on that high ground and pinch the team on site as they get there. There goes an immediate pulse bomb on a Severus though, removing them from this fight, forcing this fight to be pushed back a little bit. The Shatter coming through, but not until after Sandbox God gets their second of the fight. Bitcoin getting Wime off that Shatter. Saturn and Hollow getting Rarity and Gucci. That's both supports, leaving only Bitcoin. There goes Bitcoin going down to Sandbox God. Kaiju Core is just looking like, and there goes Severus making it back, but isn't, you know, at the right time. As Saturn, they're able to pick off Severus as they make it back. Now this is the last stretch. This is the last fight. World's Worst have to make one heck of a push here. They have to get somebody really early in this fight if they can. If not, then that could be it, as there is still the copy and the mech. There's the copy on the Zarya. Saturn pushing through. Severus able to make the touch. There goes Gucci. Bahalo goes down to Buddy. Saturn getting Buddy. Saturn getting Severus. The grab coming out. There goes Rarity going down to WeMate. There goes Bitcoin with the help of the grab, with the help of Felix. That will be the second map, going 2-0 in the hands of Kaiju Core. Once again, for back-to-back maps, we see Saturn pulling through with the play of the game now with a really nice Zarya play there. But we are now, after that being the second map, we're looking at our next, or at our interview. I'm not too sure with who.
We're gonna be pulling in True Rarity from the World's Worst.
Alright, we are pulling Rarity from World's Worst, that is. What's going on, Rarity? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
I'm happy to hear that, and I'm great. And what about you, Zoran?
You know, I'm living life.
Well, you know, getting right into the questions, Rarity. You guys are currently down 0-2, and Kaiju Core is looking really strong right now. What's something that you think World's Worst could do to shut them down or slow them down at least?
Ooh, well, the last game that we just played, I was trying to get them to target the DPS, because their DPS was targeting our heals really hard, and trying to get on point as well has been a thing. It's like if we could just fight on point, it would be a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I see. So, what are your guys' expectations? You know, now going into this push map, what are you guys thinking about changing up? Are you gonna change the team comp maybe? Go for something that isn't maybe very brawly?
I don't know. I mean, we're all kind of one trick, except for Buddy can pretty much play anything. So yeah, usually when we do matchups like this, we just hope that the other team can't counter our one trick, and when they do, then we just kind of scramble. But yeah, we just have a lot of fun, and we do try to we'll try to slowly alter a lot of things that we do just to kind of make see exactly what sticks, and if something doesn't stick, you'll see Bitcoin change heroes every time he dies, just trying to get a little bit more progress, and then once we see an improvement, then we know to focus on that, because we really don't play this game very often. Pretty much the only time that we play this game is during this league, and then we today we were like, oh, should we practice Overwatch? And then we instead played Bloons Tower Defense for an hour.
So, what would you say is your guys' main game if it isn't Overwatch?
Oh, we really don't have one. The whole World's Worst thing really transfers over to a lot of things. We do have a World's Worst CS:GO team. And a couple of us have been playing a little bit of Call of Duty here and there, but yeah, I mean, Gucci and Buddy are definitely our best players on most games that we play. But yeah, the rest of us just kind of let them down.
Well, I mean, you know, it is only 2 out of 5 maps that are lost. You guys do still have a chance to win these next 3, maybe.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I wouldn't count you guys out yet.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely, we always play to the timer hits 0, you know.
Of course, and that's great, and I'm happy to hear that you guys are able to have fun and keep playing with your spirits up. So,
oh yeah, it's all about the fun.
Of course, that's my questions. If Zoran has any.
Well, I just want to say I did receive a little bit of insight into your team's pregame ritual, which was going ham at B-dubs and watching some more WWE. Did you partake in those festivities?
Oh yeah, you know, it's buy one get one boneless, so we're all kind of feeling the aftermath of eating about 20 wings today. Also this season I've been hammering down the Shamrock shakes because that's back at McDonald's. I'm not sponsored, by the way, but Yeah, I've had about 14 so far. So
Oh.
I'm having nightmares pretty much every
Oh.
night because of that. But
Oh.
you know, it is what it is. You got to make some sacrifices for the chamois.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, I think for the most part, that's all I've got for you. Definitely think that you guys can do some good things, and I'm excited to see what you guys do in these upcoming maps. But ultimately, it sounds like you guys are having fun, and that's the important thing. Hopefully, you've got a Shamrock Shake there to keep you company while you're playing these games. But until then, I'd like to get these maps going. So I appreciate you being here.
All right, thank you.
All right. Well, we are going to start getting things ready for this next map. We have got a push game mode at New Queen Street. I know that you don't like push at all, and actually we got some insight into Jakey's favorite. What are your thoughts on New Queen Street here?
Well, New Queen Street, as you just said, I already don't like this whole game mode. So this just being a map in the game mode already makes me hate the map.
Well,
But just being blunt there. It's a cool looking map. It definitely is a fun map. I like the design. I like the way that it's set up. But overall I don't like it because of the game mode.
Sure, understandable. I think I would have to be in ingredients with Jakey here, though. I do enjoy New Queen Street. Definitely a fun map for those of you who enjoy push game modes. I would say maybe more so than the others. But yeah, we are going to get started as soon as I hit the start button. All right. Well, I guess, so what are some things, we talked a little bit about the compositions that World's Worst are playing as opposed to what Kaiju's playing. Is there anything that, they're kind of dispersed a little bit in their picks. We talked about... Sorry, Captain for Kaiju Corps said that they are ready. But okay. I did not ask, so I apologize to the teams about that. Yeah.
But your question?
Yeah. So my question is, what is a good composition you think to counter what Kaiju Corps has going on?
Well, I'd say with the one that they ran last, that dive comp, literally just entirely mirroring the whole play of dive. Being able to trade backlines, as Rarity was saying, they were focusing World's Worst supports very well, and that's exactly the goal of a dive. Pick off the supports, go for the DPS, get the tank last. So if they were able to match that same energy of getting the supports and trading backlines, it just come down to a matter of who can do it faster, really.
Definitely.
So that's just all they need. But we do see Buddy now on tank, Bitcoin on Hanzo. Bitcoin, in their last matchup, was doing some work as Hanzo, but Felix now on Junker Queen, Saturn on Echo again, Sandbox on Tracer again, and then May and Hollow on Kiri and Lucio again. But Bitcoin now on Hanzo, Rarity once again on Kiriko, Buddy now on Zarya, Severus again on Soldier, and Gucci again on Lucio, and they are going to go for this high ground fight before fighting for point. They want to secure this fight before they try to push the point. But there goes Rarity going down early in the backline that Sandbox got, getting that early pick for them. Sandbox got trying to get another one. There goes Saturn getting Gucci. Gucci was trying to help Severus, but it did not work as Sandbox gets Severus. Bitcoin goes down to Hollow, and Sandbox goes down to Buddy. And there is immediately 5. And as I've been saying, that isn't quite a team kill, but that is 5 on the board for Kaiju Corps.
Definitely. I was just going to say, definitely still a lot of time left. Push has a lot of time to allow for teams to make some pushes and counter pushes. But definitely allowing this progress for Kaiju Core is going to prove to hinder World's Worst more than anything, I think.
1000%, and then losing Severus before that fight even got to start, getting knifed in by Felix as the whole team applied pressure, allowing them so much more cart time and cart space. And they are going to push through with that Junker Queen Rage. The Axe Swing not quite connecting, but they are going to look for one, but Buddy gets hollow there. There goes Buddy getting a second on Saturn. They are going to aggress site. They don't want to give up the Spud Scratch, and they do. Since Rarity wasn't there, they had to keep the heals on Buddy to keep Buddy alive instead of that speed, so unfortunately that doesn't work out for them. There's the Axe Swing, there goes Buddy. Buddy getting too aggressive, trying to get a third for that fight. The stick landing on Bitcoin, but there goes Severus getting Sandbox God. There goes Hollow Can't Aim getting Rarity. We may getting Severus. They're gonna push back past the Butt Scratch now. As we are nearing this last corner, putting them next to their spawn, World's Worst should be able to win this next fight, if not that, then the one after, and then put themselves on pace to start winning. But Bitcoin getting way too aggressive in that top room, getting followed up on by Saturn. There's the grab landing on them all, the cleanse saving the team though. Sandbox God getting Gucci, Sandbox God getting Buddy. Saturn way too low here, needs to back up. They get the healing. Hollow getting Severus, so Severus was last alive, up too far. Bitcoin just trying to dance around, not quite sure who to play here. Now on Cassidy. The copy coming out from Saturn on Cass. The Reckoning coming through the beat. Save it. Both beats coming out. Saturn trying to charge that high noon as they know they don't have a shield to stop it. There it is. Only Buddy able to fight for sight. Sever stuck in the spawn. The ult coming out. There goes everybody. Saturn getting 2. Sandbox getting 2. Felix getting the last on Buddy. That will be the map. That will be the series, but we still do have 2 matches after that. 3-0 for Kaiju Core. A really nice play out of Felix right there, playing Junker Queen really well. Some great mechanics, just a textbook, really well played Junker Queen right there. When axes landing, knives landing, the shotgun being pushed up against World's Worst face, and they aren't able to quite do much against such an aggressive character.
Yeah,
as they have to fly in.
I couldn't agree more. And the other thing too, I mean, we've seen a lot of very dominating performances coming from Kaiju Core, but something that really stands out to me is I feel like in general we've seen several very dominating performances on push maps, and I think having that kind of, like I had said, there's a lot of time for push maps to be played to allow pushes and counter pushes, but for the map to end that quickly, I think it can be a pretty big shot to morale. So definitely something to consider there for the World's Worst as they're getting ready to go into this 4th map.
Definitely, but I do know World's Worst, as the players that they aren't ones to really get upset over how the matches are going. They're just gonna roll with the punches, as Rarity said, they're gonna play their hearts out till the timer hits 0, and that's exactly what I'd hope and I'd expect out of them for these next 2 maps. They have lost the series, but that doesn't stop them from being able to get at least 1 map here, put a point on the board for themselves. So, and I would really like to see that. We are now looking at the 4th map for the Flashpoint game mode on New Junk City. Just both teams now ready, and we will be entering the game.
Really looks like we're playing everyone's least favorite game modes back to back. I know maybe even, was it week 1, World's Worst said after winning the first map, which was the Flashpoint, how much they despise Flashpoint. So yeah, I think it's pretty universal that Flashpoint is not liked. But yeah, definitely playing them back to back. But also Flashpoint can be a very quick game with how quick the ticks are for each point. But also definitely a lot of action to be seen during each point.
Definitely. And I mean, just as you were saying, some of the most dominant performances that we've been seeing were rolling out on those push maps. I think some of the most clutch performances that we've been seeing have come out on Flashpoint. Some of the biggest saves and such. So, you know, that does set some high standards for this match. But we do now see an entire team comps, or not an entire team comp swap up, but at least the DPS now for Kaiju Core, putting Saturn on Tracer now and Sandbox God on Sombra, making them an even more aggressive comp than they were before. And we see relatively the same comp coming out for World's Worst, other than Severus now being on Bastion. Sandbox God and Saturn both already looking to get a pinch in there, but they do both have to back as 3 do turn around on them. Bitcoin and Gucci left up front for the rest of the team to fight through. Saturn just getting a chip damage in on Severs, waiting to slowly get that pick finally. Looks like the pick will come through. There it is, but not after Buddy gets hollow. They will both trade one player. There goes Bitcoin, playing way too aggressive there. Going down to Felix. Bitcoin might not be able to run this Reinhardt here. The cleanse saving them from the nade from Buddy. The virus landing on Rarity. But there goes Felix getting another. Felix getting 3 this fight. Saturn finishing it off. Felix just playing Junker Queen really well. It looks like, you know, just, I mean, as World's Worst were saying, they don't have much experience as a team on Overwatch, and they all don't really play that much, which is, you know, not very great. But it's the complete opposite for Kaiju Core, constantly running practices, scrims, and they've had this experience with this team for over half a year now, I believe. So it really puts them in a lot better spot opposed to the rest of the team, or the rest of the teams. But the EMP does come out from Sandbox God, and Sandbox God is able to pick off 2 there. Now getting a 3rd onto Buddy, pushing them back into their spawn. That will be this cap on point. There goes Sandbox God getting another on Rarity. Can they get another? There goes Bitcoin being involved in all 5 kills in that fight. Really well played from Sandbox God, a great EMP and a great follow-up with the rest of their util and the rest of their kit to finish out all 5 in that fight. But Severus is instantly pulled in, going down to Felix. That's not a pick you want to give up early. You know, Severus made it there to site way too early compared to the rest of the team. They do now have to wait for Severus, and Severus will be making it back as Echo now. But not until after they cap the point. The Kitsune, the Shadow to try and counter it, the Cleanse to save them. Great cleanse from Wime. Felix slashing through, all the util being pumped through, the beat coming out, Sandbox getting Rarity, Buddy getting Sandbox. Bitcoin and Gucci trying to push through, but they aren't able to quite do it as Saturn is able to help the rest of the team. Saturn turning around to get Buddy off of Rarity, forcing Buddy away. Felix getting Bitcoin as he's forced away from the supports. There goes Saturn now getting Buddy after that nade sticks, leaving only Gucci and Severus alive there as Sandbox God makes it back to pinch them. There goes Gucci, only Severus alive. There goes Severus going down to Sandbox God. Great team play there. Just everybody playing together so well. Bitcoin now on Winston. And we do see 4 ultimates coming up for Kaiju Core. Maybe we can get an early post bomb stick on somebody. Should be great to see. Sandbox God was doing a lot of that as Tracer. Let's see if Saturn can do the same thing. The high noon coming out from Buddy very early, popping it before anything can happen. They have nothing to block it. There goes Wime. The EMP coming out. The beat to follow it up. They're pushing through. There goes Severus going down to Saturn. They want to get them off site. Bitcoin jumping up. They don't have site control quite yet. There goes Hollow getting 3, getting Gucci, Bitcoin, and then Saturn picking off Buddy in the end, leaving only Rarity alive as Saturn is able to help finish off Rarity. They're just using their ultimates really well, and they do still have a Pulse Bomb and a Rampage to just slam right through World's Worst here on any take that they want. It's just a matter of when they'll do it. But we do see a Kitsune ready and Severus coming up on that copy. There goes Rarity immediately going down to Sandbox God. With how many times that Rarity's just gone down early in these fights to Sandbox God, I think that Sandbox God has some sort of grudge against them. There goes Sandbox God getting another one of their supports, both their supports, but Bitcoin gets Saturn and Felix is able to help get Bitcoin there. There goes Hollow getting Severus, leaving nobody alive on point. Buddy making it there, but has to run away. Trying to build up ult charge, trying to escape, but will be running into Sandbox God here. Sandbox God turning around, having to get out. Hollow trying to help, but is being jumped on by Winston. Chased down, is able to make it away. Saturn trying to pinch them on main. Bitcoin jumping through, but not until Rarity TP's away. Buddy and Saturn going at it now. There goes Sandbox God getting Severus, another early pick in these fights. Bitcoin jumping through, trying to help out Buddy with the... There goes the Pulse Bomb. Both pulses landing on both Kirikos. There goes the Rampage coming through. Sandbox God able to follow it up, get Bitcoin, get Gucci. Saturn able to help them too, get Buddy. The whole team being involved in all 5 of those kills is just great. Thought it was pretty funny to see both Tracers Pulse Bomb directly onto both Kirikos at the exact same time in that fight. And that should be the cap unless Buddy is able to touch, and I don't believe Buddy will be able to touch. Just at the front, immediately getting taken out. That will be Kaiju Core taking a 4-0 lead so far going into this last map.
I think it's only fitting that the play of the game included the double Kiriko kill. That was pretty funny to me.
Yeah, it's very satisfying, I saw it pop up in chat, but I wasn't able to comment on it how I wanted to immediately, given the whole fight was going on. But I do definitely think that's a really interesting thing that happened. But that does put Kaiju Core up 4-0 against World's Worst. World's Worst looking at this last map as their last chance to put a point on the board for tonight.
What do you think that World's Worst mentality might be going into this last match?
Well, from what I've heard and from what I've seen, definitely not down, I'd say, but definitely not up. Maybe neutral, indifferent. They're just kind of here for this 5th map, maybe. I don't know if they just want to get out of here and finish it up, or if they do want to genuinely take this last map. And not to take a shot at them or anything, or knock them down. They are a good team, but it just seems like Kaiju Core is overwhelming them with these dive plays, with those poke plays, and it just comes down to synergy and the amount that they play the game. I mean, as we've heard in all of the interviews from World's Worst, they all say that they're all one-tricking characters and hoping for the best, and that they're all not really people that play the game, and that they're all just doing it for fun. And I'm happy that they can do it for fun, and that it's definitely a good thing for you and your friend group. But it's just one of those nights where they're playing one of those teams that doesn't quite work against, just because of how much time that Kaiju Core has spent together and put into VOD reviewing and scrimming, playing in other tournaments, winning in those tournaments, just overall being able to build up more synergy than World's Worst is able to. Yeah, I think that's purely what it comes down to, unfortunately.
Yeah, Yeah, I could agree with that. But without further ado, we are going to go ahead and do an interview with Felix here. So we'll be pulling them in 3, 2, 1.
Hey Felix, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Great.
I'm happy to hear that, and I'm great myself. But getting into these questions, you guys are currently up 4-0. I don't know much about you guys as a team, so I don't know if you guys have been serious in the call the whole time, or if you guys are starting to relax here. But are you guys going into this 5th map with the same mentality that you did in the first?
Yeah, of course. Our motto is that no matter who we're playing, we're always going to give it our 100% from map 1 to the very last map. So, the meta right now in Overwatch is definitely Tracer Echo is very strong, but we decided to give it a little try and play some Tracer Sombra because Sombra's pretty decent, and Sandbox, my hit scan, she's pretty good at Sombra, so she wanted to give it a try, and it worked out pretty well.
Definitely. The amount of picks that they were able to get early into those fights, especially on the rarity, was very great to see. I'd say some of the best Sombra play that I've seen in the league so far, following up the great Tracer play from Sandbox God the match before, and not to disregard the entire team, you guys are all playing great, but just on the topic of Sandbox God,
Yeah.
But since we do have you here, I do want to mention the tank play that I have seen from you tonight has been great. It's been amazing. The aggression that you were able to play with Junker Queen, the space that you were able to hold as Sigma, the countless amount of rocks that you threw to cancel the ultimates and save your team ultimately from losing a point or gaining time. I just wanted to get that praise out there because I thought it was great.
Thank you very much.
Of course, and then not to forget about Saturn and Wimei, Hollow, all holding their own and doing more than what you would expect of them on each and every character. But though that was my 2 questions. I don't know if Joran has any.
Yeah, I can't say that I honestly have a whole lot of questions for you, Felix. I'm gonna try and come up with something off the top of my head, but just what comes to mind is continuously all of you put together a very dominating performance, and I'm more than excited to see that throughout the rest of the season. I would say my one question, I've seen some variety from all of you tonight. What would you say the most comfortable composition? And absolutely you can say, I don't want to answer that question because that's giving too much information to the other team. But what would you say, if you want to answer, what would you say is your most comfortable composition that you guys play?
So not to toot my own horn, but we've been swimming together since July of last year. So I've put my teammates through a lot of scrimmages, a lot of practice. I would say that my teammates are pretty good at most compositions, but we definitely do like to play just more aggressive compositions as a whole. I'm not going to say anything super specific. I don't want to give away too many strats, but we definitely are very big on very aggressive, fast compositions, for sure.
For sure, definitely. So I got to ask, so next map, we're playing Midtown, finishing things out. Do you like to play that side alley, or do you typically push up main on there, or is that too much information to reveal?
That is maybe a little too much information to reveal, but I guess we'll see really shortly.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. Well, good luck in your final maps and in the rest of the season. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Good luck on your game.
Thank you.
Of course. That was Felix. Seemed really happy to be here. Seems really happy to play through these matches. I'm happy to hear that they, as a whole team, will be keeping the same mentality through the whole thing. Definitely something you want to see, and it's good to have players with strong integrity.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I asked the question at the beginning of the stream, do you think playing down to the competition is something that Kaiju Corp might do? And I think Felix answered that question very well in saying every match we're going to give 100%, and that's very admirable. Definitely something that not every team can say, but definitely something that I am glad to hear coming from Kaiju Corp. As I said in the interview with Felix, definitely some very dominating performance coming from them. So I can't be appreciative enough. And World's Worst, I'm not going to discredit them at all. I'm not going to say that they're not playing their hardest or anything. Ultimately, I think both teams are having fun, and that's important. But really pushing yourself to that 110% to make sure your team comes out on top, also definitely a priority, and figuring out what you need to do to be the victor in each match can be a priority as well. But without further ado, we are looking at our last map, being a hybrid game mode at my personal favorite, Midtown.
Now, I do know, as you spoke, Midtown is your favorite due solely to the music.
Yeah, I think we should be quiet here to just vibe out for a second. Yeah. Okay, we can talk now. I'm just telling you, man, that's a vibe. I love Midtown so much. I gotta be honest with you.
It is definitely a good map. Not my favorite of the, hybrid maps, but it is definitely a good map to say the least. And we are now on this last map here. Everybody, they have secured the match, the series, more than just getting a 3-0. They got a 4-0 so far, that being for Kaiju Corp. And we do know Saturn as a Genji player, and Saturn is now finally being able to play that Genji. So I'm excited to see what they can cook up as a team here now.
Definitely. I do believe that Kaiju Corp is all rocking the same team skin.
They are.
Do you know what skin that is? I can't tell you.
It is one of the Asia teams, I believe. I can't quite remember who. Hangzhou Spark. That's what it is. Sandbox God getting an early pick on the buddy here. Saturn just jumping around the back line, terrorizing Bitcoin. Bitcoin now on support. I did just realize that. They do have Gucci on take now. Sandbox God getting Severus, Saturn getting Gucci. They're both put together good for 4. Saturn going through once again for a really aggressive play, attacking Buddy. Buddy able to get the peel from both of their supports, keeping them up there, forcing Saturn out, playing that really, really well. But Severus being punished for going up way too far in that inside of train, getting rocked, getting dashed through by Saturn, taken out there. Saturn just utilizing the ability that they can just repeatedly go over the train here and pinch them from the back. There goes Gucci going down to Felix. But we do have Buddy jumping around inside the train along with Rarity and now Bitcoin. Both teams coming up on quite a few ultimates. Buddy and Rarity and Bitcoin all coming up on their ults. So Saturn, Sandbox God, Wimei, and Hollow coming up on their ults. Buddy getting really far up here though. The blade coming out. Saturn dashing through, able to get Rarity, turning, dashing, getting Bitcoin, trying to take out Gucci here, getting Gucci at the end though. Does he? Do they? They do. Trying to catch Buddy in the spawn, they aren't able to quite finish it off there. But Severus is last alive on point. They are going to pinch. There's the follow-up from Saturn. They are able to help finish off that pick with the help of the whole team, especially Wimei having to fight Severus the longest there.
Yeah, definitely great play coming from Saturn. Their blade there, I mean, getting 2 there and then being able to finish off Gucci definitely proved to be a great momentum shift. It could have been the deciding factor here on this first push, but we'll have to wait and see.
And we do see Severus TPing through Sandbox God. Sandbox God having to jump off a point, but Rarity gets Hollow, Buddy gets Sandbox. Saturn able to get Buddy as the Coalescence Kitsune and the Trance coming out. Wimei, Felix, and Saturn having to 3v4 per point right here. Gucci chasing down Saturn. There goes Bitcoin getting Wimei. Saturn in a really rough spot. Bitcoin and Gucci able to help along with Rarity to get Saturn there. Felix able to be the last one to make it out, or the only one to make it out, I should say. The window coming out, the Bob for the touch. Felix getting Gucci, Hollow getting Bitcoin, Sandbox getting Rarity. Buddy able to get Sandbox there, leaving only Buddy left on point. Great Bob touch with the follow-up from Hollow and Felix, along with Sandbox just being able to pinch them from main. We are looking at 24 seconds left, though, for World's Worst to get this cap up.
I gotta give credit here to Weemy High. They always are able to put that orb there on Saturn when they need it.
Definitely. You know, they did manage to put a lot of pressure on Saturn there in that last fight, or the fight before last, I should say, but the gravitational flux coming through, getting Rarity, getting Gucci, just a great play, forcing Severus into that back room, and that will be the half. 2/3 of the point cap for World's Worst, putting Kaiju Corps in a really good spot to win this map now. I would say I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe the exact same team comp come out from Kaiju Corps, or maybe swapping Felix onto a dive tank now, putting them at an even faster pace comp, a more aggressive comp. There it is. And Sandbox God now back on Sombra. As Felix was saying, Sandbox God does have a good Sombra, but they do normally play his skin. Weemain now on Lifeweaver, Hollow still on Baptiste. Bitcoin playing Symmetra, a very strong defensive hero, or just a hero in general on this map. Rarity, Rarity on Kiriko, Buddy on Hanzo. Severus now on Mercy with Gucci on Zarya. So they do have a relatively strong defensive comp, but I think Kaiju Corps just has a much stronger attack comp.
Playing a very aggressive dive there and only needing to get 2.5 ticks. I think, not to call it before the fat lady sings, as the old-timey saying goes, but working up the alley here.
Very hidden play from the team. They are going to burst through a 3-2-1 play maybe. There it is. They're dashing through. Hollow able to finish off Severus. Saturn able to finish off Buddy. Hollow getting a second on Rarity. There goes Bitcoin. That should be the map. Gucci having a fold on the point. Gucci going down. A team kill. And there is the cap. That is the map. That's all. 5-0 for Kaiju Corps here. A great win for them. Great play to see.
Play of the game.
Yeah, I'm almost left speechless with tonight's match. Kaiju Corps just continuing to show the dominance there, and World's Worst still struggling to find their footing. I think after the loss against Loggers really kind of put in their minds that, hey, like we can actually lose to teams, and then also going into Kaiju Corps, another really strong team, but yeah, I mean, definitely there are some things World's Worst needs to work on. But at the end of the day, I think they're a good team, and they're just trying to have some fun. So I wish them the best of luck, and I want to see more of how this team plays. I'd love to see how that works out for them.
Of course, and I mean, just a great win, an important win for Kaiju Corps. Getting this 5-0 after their last match was technically, a forfeit, as the team did drop out of the league just a couple days before the matchup. So now seeing them be able to play after 2 weeks of not seeing it is definitely something. but I'm not too sure what World's Worst next matchup is, but I do know that Kaiju Core's next matchup is next week, where they will be playing Midnight Muses, two teams that do very well in dive. So that's something that I'm excited to see how they can trade each other's backlines, or maybe it goes entirely one-sided. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think next week, so kicking off what would be round 4, so this was the finale for round 3, kicking off round 4 on the 11th, 8 p.m. EST, we have got the Respawn Rangers coming against the one and the only World's Worst. So World's Worst are going to have two back-to-back matchups. So after coming up against Kaiju Core tonight, on Monday they're going to be facing Respawn Rangers. Suffering a tough loss against Wyoming 3-2, they showed a very dominating performance against VTG Orion, winning that match 5-0. So we'll see if the momentum continues to sway in their favor. Meanwhile, we'll see if the World's Worst, if those WWE clips will carry them to a victory against Respawn Rangers. Ultimately, I think it'll be a good matchup. After that, I'm just going to run through the list because I'm excited about these matches here. We've got Wyoming going up against J Dynasty. Also going to be a very incredible matchup. And as you said, Midnight Muses Kaiju Core on the 14th, same time, 8 p.m. EST, and Wyoming and Jade on the 13th, 8 p.m. EST. And then following that, still continuing round 4, we've got XL2 and Loggers, then VTG Orion and Cumberland. I mean, I'm just looking at round 4 and I'm thinking to myself, I don't think there's going to be a single game that's going to go 5-0. I don't.
Definitely.
I am excited to see these matchups. And listen, if you're still here listening to us ramble on about stuff, I don't think you're gonna want to miss these matchups either. So definitely some very good games to come in round 4. I can't say how excited I am about these matchups. But going back to tonight, Kaiju Core again, very impressive performance. And World's Worst. Just need to find their footing and figure out what works for them. As I think probably just about every player we've interviewed has stated, they're some one-trick wonders as they don't have a ton of play time in the game. But, I mean, we do see a lot of glimpses of their team potential. So I'm excited to see more of that coming up in these next games.
Most definitely. But as you said, next week there shouldn't be a single 5-0 or even a 4-1. I expect all those matches to end 3-2. Every single team playing each other on, I'd say equal footing, So I'm just excited for that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with that being said, kicking things off for round 4, going to be coming up on Monday. But as far as round 3 goes, we're going to be ending things tonight. I will say stay tuned. I believe on the 11th, we will be announcing the Round 3 MVP. So that's going to be during the Respawn Rangers World's Worst matchup. So you want to check that out, see who the MVP is for Round 3. I would definitely say tune in and give that a look. Definitely some very strong contenders for this last round's MVP. So I'm excited to see who gets that. But also, thank you to all of you who were here. We appreciate you being here. Thank you to the teams. We can't have the league without them. Definitely appreciate them being here. And then on the screen now, you will see the links to our socials. We are still growing as a community, and we would love to have more people be a part of it. So we are asking for free. It's not going to cost you anything. Give our Facebook page a like. Take a look at our TikTok, give us a follow, like some videos if they're good. I mean, obviously if you don't like them, then you don't have to watch them or like them. But, just to be there to support us as we continue to grow and hope to grow even further than where we're at now. So we appreciate all of you for watching. We appreciate all the teams for participating, and we appreciate the 2 teams that were competing tonight. So with that being said, thanks again, and we will see you Monday, March 11th at 8 p.m. EST for the Respawn Rangers World's Worst matchup. Y'all have a good night.